Hey everyone, welcome back to Collecting Nolan. This is Russ, and today I just wanted to do a VR response for Mark's Dodgers cards, and I just wanted to congratulate him on his 330 subscribers. And with that, he just wanted us to go and talk about some players that were on the list of very good, maybe in the Hall of Very Good, not in the Hall of Fame. So with that, I just had like one player that I wanted to discuss, and that was J.R. Richard, actually. And Chris from Missouri actually did a pretty good piece on Just a Bit Outside, one of his shows, and he discussed J.R. Richard a little bit. But I just want to reiterate that, J.R. Richard was probably one of the most he was a pretty good pitcher back for a couple years stretch there, and he was even striking out more people than Nolan Ryan. So I just wanted to bring him up for the Hall of Very Good for Mark's contest. So just a little bit about J.R. Richard, and I only have two cards of his, and they're both paired with Nolan Ryan. But a little bit about J.R. Richard was that he was drafted in the 1969 amateur draft, but he wasn't really used too much until 1975, where he was a starting pitcher. And then in 1975, he compiled a 12-10 record with a 4.39 ERA and about 176 strikeouts. But from 1976 to 1980, he was considered one of the more prominent and more, I guess, one of the best pitchers in baseball at the time. In 1978, he led the league in strikeouts with 303 strikeouts. He went 18 and 11 that year. So this card is the 1980 Topps card with JR and Nolan. And on the back, you can see that Nolan was running behind him in strikeouts. So he beat Nolan Ryan that year for strikeouts. And I also have his 1979 Topps card with him and Nolan again. And in 1979, he had 313 strikeouts, which also led the league again. So he beat Nolan again that year. And he had 18 wins and 13 losses that year. And then if you guys remember, 1980 was when Nolan Ryan got traded to the Houston Astros. So, could you imagine facing these two in the same series? Like one day is Nolan, and then the next day is J.R. Richard. I mean, J.R. Richard was throwing over 100 miles an hour on a consistent basis. He was probably at that time maybe even throwing harder than Nolan. I'm not sure about that, but after watching just a little bit of the highlights there, you could tell he was throwing some straight up gas. So, I would have, it's a shame that in the 1980 season, I think it was cut short because he had a stroke. But if you could only imagine, if he could have stayed healthy, how dangerous would the Astros have been that year, or even in further years. So, J.R. Richard is my nomination for Hall of Very Good, and just a phenomenal power pitcher for that short stint of time. And, it's a shame that his career got cut short by that stroke. Because those two pitching for the Astros for the number of years, it could have really probably resulted in a lot more wins for the Astros. So that's my nomination. I just wanted to tell Mark congratulations on the 330. His channel's a really good channel. If you guys haven't checked it out, he talks about a lot of Dodgers stuff, of course, because he's a Dodgers fan, but he covers a lot of vintage stuff as well. And, I find the shows pretty enjoyable. And, I just want to congratulate him because, it's a lot of work to get that number, and, you deserve it. So congratulations, man. I guess I'll see you guys at the next one. Thanks. Bye.